the new Imperium Maledictum campaign has been a lot of fun, and you missed last session.
Yeah, I wasn't here last night. I was harvesting my plants, 12 hours of farm labor all day. Someone has replaced all the connective tissue in my body with Rice Krispie treats, and I am crackling around the house today. Feels
brutal.
Excellent. What did I miss?
Well, so the premise of this campaign, originally we went in, we were thinking it was just a normal campaign, and we went through until we essentially hit, and then war were declared, and it was chaos. And then our characters woke back up at session 1. Because we're in a Groundhog Day.
Yeah, we're in a Groundhog Day, and there's some kind of... Every time we go through the loop of the Groundhog Day, this weird chaos thing goes faster and faster.
Yeah.
It's kind of concerning.
It's not an infinite Groundhog Day, but we do have some time. Well, since we got to reset last time, we started a new loop. Unfortunately, we already had made the decision previously to, what's it called, biomancy?
Yeah.
To shape...
mend flesh, or shape flesh.
Yeah, shape flesh to get our friend Infurious Pissant, played by Mario.
Mario is playing a character that is inspired by George Lucas, and is Mario's attempt to be as annoying as possible.
It's going really well.
It's going really well.
It's
and we added one of our other, our longtime game companions back, who became available, and he decided to roll a Psyker character, and he rolled a power that we hadn't messed with up until that, Shape Flesh. And Shape Flesh just kind of turns you into someone else.
And the thing is, in this Groundhog Day loop, essentially the first thing that happens is our boss, Oshy Squashy,
Matt,
he will go off to go negotiate. And that's his job. He's supposed to go do that. And then the first time, that is when, oh my god, bullets everywhere, we have to run. And then
she's dead.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And then we escape, and then we're like, he's not dead, we'll save him. And then, no, he was definitely dead. He got killed. And then the next loop, right, we made sure that we kept an eye on things, made sure that Squashy went to a different place for the meeting, so that when the attack happened, they wouldn't get blown up. Turns out, the attack teleports directly to Squashy, and it is our old blank friend, Kugel, all decked out in Terminator Necron gear, who just obliterates him. And then, in order to replace him for future negotiations, we shape-fleshed our George Lucas-y friend into our other friend. And unfortunately, when you shape-flesh, it literally shapes their soul. So when we Groundhog Day'd again, he's still
Matt?
Yep.
So we disguised him. I put a hood over him, a George Lucas beard, and then the chimp eyes from the original Star Wars from the Emperor. And so that's how he's hidden right now. And then we're in a whole new loop, and we're like, okay, listen, Squashy, you can't go and negotiate with them alone. You're going to be attacked. And he's like, and we're like, no, this is a Groundhog Day scenario. We're fully honest. This is a Groundhog Day scenario.
He said they're pulling a Bill Murray.
Oh yeah, it's a Murray scenario. That's what he called it.
Yeah.
This is a full Murray. Okay, you're going to die. Now, coincidentally, there is something new to this run of the timeline.
Yeah, this is the first time the time loop is deviated in a substantial manner.
The
Votan.
The Votan that we met before we got all just bullets last time until we all died. They're there in our starting position, and they're trying to negotiate. Hey, let us do the negotiation and handling all of this because we work for the Imperium, and we'll smooth all this out. Just essentially, just let us have it. Let's have it.
Yeah, and this time loop, the Votan are several weeks early instead of being late.
Yeah. Well, this time we tell Squashy you can't go negotiate anywhere. You have to stay here with us where we can keep an eye on you. And then after a little bit, we start to hear what's going on? And we're like, see, it's happening. That's the attack that we told you was going to happen. And Squashy's like, I think it'll be fine. And we're like, no, And then the door opens. And who should be there but Kugel?
And he's all borged out.
All borged out with his Necron gear, and he holds up his hand all menacingly, like he's
Kugel is a different Mario, by the way.
Yes, Kugel is another Mario character.
We've been playing this now enough that we're really starting to
a lot of the NPCs are ourselves.
Yeah, I'm really, really liking this.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway, he had to end his turn before he could shoot anybody, and my character's thing is being fast. He's very fast, he's very sneaky. So I crossed the entire map, essentially, while he's standing in the doorway, and I closed the door on him. Because he stood in the doorway, hand up all foreboding, and so I just ran up and I hit the slam button. Mm-hmm. As you know, all doors aboard the Pish are equipped with a slam button.
Of course.
So it slammed on Kugel's leg, and then Ewan's character, Kel, who is a giant man in power armor with an axe who does so much damage that we essentially let him handle it.
Melee builds go pretty hard in this one.
He runs up, and it's essentially him and I double-teaming him while a power axe is hitting Kugel. I am just plucking the things off of him. I stole his phone right out of his pocket.
It was a good move. It was an extremely good move.
It was a great move.
Empty those pockets, bitch.
Yeah.
I'm steely.
He's like, you can't do this. He's like pulling on his leg because it's caught in the door. He can't do anything. It's great.
Yeah, and he's packing a fucking tachyon arrow.
Yeah.
That shoots liquid at the speed of light. That's what it does.
Would you like to guess what the penetration is on that? Penetration in this lets you ignore armor. And
30.
That's a pretty good guess. It's 20.
That is so many.
20 is essentially...
That's like goes through a starship.
For the record, my lovely listeners, my character's armor is 4.
Yeah.
I think I have 6 because I'm made of leather.
Our good armored guy, I mean, this guy that we're fighting he was essentially like a fucking Terminator. Kugel...
And he had 9.
He had 9 armor.
And that's good. That's like good armor.
Great armor.
And the tachyon arrow's penetration was 20.
Awesome.
Luckily, we were just giving him the boots, so he didn't really get much off. Mm-hmm. A typical thing that will happen is Brody will make something that's very, very dangerous, and then he'll unleash it on us, essentially being like, this'll kill 1 or 2 of them.
At turn 1, he gets tabletopped.
Turn 1, it's over.
We stand behind his ankles and shove him down.
Yep. It's completely unfair.
And I was giving Ewan's characters back massages.
Yeah.
There's a talent in Imperium Maledictum. If you don't want to play a fighty character and you just want to be like a support character, they have one of the strongest abilities for that called a tentative assistant.
Yeah.
Where you can basically do the help action for literally anything.
Yeah.
And if you're also trained in it, they get additional degrees of success.
So you can give them advantage and modifiers to their roll.
Yeah, so I just scooted over to Ewan and gave him a back massage and gave him advantage on his weapon attacks, and he fucked that guy up.
It was rough. And then, eventually, Kugel is like, wait, we can talk this through. And we're like, no, we cannot, actually. He's like, you don't understand, that's not the real squashy. And we're like, this is our real hands, is what it is. And so he eventually is like, fuck it, I gotta go.
And he phases out like Necrons do.
He takes out his laser sword, and he cuts through the door.
Yeah.
And then he tries to run the other way. Now keep in mind, there are Necron warriors coming in the other door behind us.
But you chased him away from Matt, didn't you?
I shot him with my grappling hook as he ran.
Good.
Unfortunately, he got slightly better on his failure than I did, so it pulled it out of my hands. But it did give him enough pause that Ewan was able to run up and essentially remove his arm.
Yeah, he cut it clean off.
And then old Steely here now has a pariah arm and a Necron laser sword.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And then we were like, ha ha ha. And Kugel's like, I'll get you for this. And then I'm talking on his phone like, we got his teleporter. Now we're going to teleport onto his ship. Oh, now we're going to take the fight to the Necrons. And he's like, fuck you. Now they're going to punch me when I teleport in. And he's gone.
For all of you 40K fans that know the lore, he picked up a phase blade.
Yes.
Which is what the, I think the Calidus assassins use. It basically like
lightsaber. Got it.
It's a lightsaber, but it's not made out of energy.
Yeah. It's 40k, so it's made out of orphan souls.
I'm trying to like.
It's like a big katana with a green.
It
laser
has
edge.
higher priority of existing.
Yeah.
So when it hits something, it's always better than the thing it's hitting. So it just cuts clean through it because it's just on a higher priority of existing.
Do you remember?
But if it hits a Catan, it heals the Catan. It gets
and
sucked
blows
in.
up you.
Yeah, and gets sucked into.
Do you remember the Disney Channel original movie Clock Stoppers, where the kid gets?
I sure do.
Gets like the wristwatch that makes him have time powers.
Yep.
No, I do not.
At a certain point, when you get going fast enough, because of the time powers wristwatch, you can just go through walls, and that's how he saves the day. So that's,
okay.
I'm
That's
mad
pretty
at
good
that.
move.
Basically that.
Now keep in mind, he's also moving slower than the wing beat of a fly, because they really like to show that he's like, time hasn't stopped. We're just moving really, really fast.
We bought a slow motion camera.
Yeah, they bought a slow motion camera. They took a few videos of flies, and then he moves about as fast as a slow motion camera.
So you have the pariah arm, you have the Clock Stopper's blade,
and he teleports away.
He phases out because that's what Necron do when they're hurt.
And we get...
He's a pariah at this point. It's turned him into
Yes,
one.
he's fully a pariah, which is a cool. Once again, to 40k fans out there, the pariah plotline has somewhat been abandoned in recent canon. But around 3rd edition Warhammer, it was basically implied that blanks would be converted into like half Necron, half creature.
Yeah.
Combatants that are anti-psych are called pariahs, and Kugel was being turned into a pariah.
And essentially, once he was gone, we could get out of there because,
Yeah, we cheesed it.
it's fucked. So
The Votan even offered to let us use their better shuttle, and we were like, no, we're going to use our shuttle because you guys are losers.
we actually don't trust you. You're actually fucking with time, and we're the only ones allowed to be fucking with time right now. But if you want to fly with us, you can. And then we all fly away, and then we have like 2 weeks before we get to the place. And like a week in, the Votan were like, our ship's like way faster. We're going ahead. Everything seems to be fine. And we're like, okay, I guess. And as we're flying, I'm like, check out my pariah arm. It's leaking evil green goo. And Squashy orders me to give it a taste.
To drink it. Yeah, of course he does.
And I say, well, I don't think that would be very smart.
And he says, I'm your Lord Captain.
Yeah, I'm your Lord Captain. This is a direct order. And I say, Gut Broth, will you have a taste of this? Gut Broth is one of our friends who is not currently coming to the sessions, but it's okay. People come and go.
He's the only guy that's a pilot, so his character is there.
Yeah, he's our pilot. And I let him have a lick, and he dissolved. So this time loop, no more gut broth.
Yeah, he's out.
He's a pile of green goo, and then I put away the arm. But once we get there, everything seems good. The Votan have clearly already sort of spread their little seeds of distrust for us, where it's like, you should really hire the Votan and not worry about the Squashy Dynasty. And we're like, well, we'll let Squashy handle the negotiations with her.
That's what he's for.
And he's like, he asks her, get on my shuttle. We'll have a little romantic fly around. And we're like,
So some more context here. Like,
he's banging this
basically, there is a separatist movement in this system, and the planet, like, there's like a agri-world there, and then a whole bunch of orbital satellite moons and stuff that are being mined. And this is a very resource intensive system that is trying to do a separatist movement against Imperial rule
because they're so fucking far away.
And there are 3 factions basically have stakes in this. There are the separatists. There is the Squashy Dynasty, who's falls in their rogue trader jurisdiction, and the Tithe Perfectus, the
taxmen,
the Imperial tax collectors who want to bring him back into the fold.
This is because 6 campaigns
several campaigns ago.
Remember
thousands of
4
years
and 8
ago.
campaigns ago, we rolled really poorly on warp travel and lost 100 years, and so we haven't paid taxes in 100 years. What the fuck?
Yeah, and you owe those taxes.
Yeah, you
And
pay
so instead of going into the negotiations to figure out if these separatists are actually going to go through with it, Ashi's like, yeah, she totally wants to bang me. And so
Yeah.
he shows up.
He's like, I can bang this whole situation right over.
It's like,
Everything will be fine.
it's such a fucking funny concept.
Keep in mind, that's who he is. That's correct.
Yeah.
And last time we
I'd follow him to hell and back. I
Worked
would.
up until now.
the first time we showed up without Squashy, reporting that Squashy may be dead, she essentially didn't give us the time of day.
Yeah, fuck off. You guys suck.
The next time we came and we had our imposter Squashy, they ran off and we essentially told him, like, just bang her about it. And then only later did we, like, come to, like, start talking. We got into our own hijinks, and then we were like, hey, he knows how to, like, bang like Squashy does, right? Like, he must.
At which point the guards started shooting
Yeah,
us.
we just bullets. And,
So the next time loop.
So next time loop, which is this time loop, he's going to go bang her. And he's like, I'll take her on a little romantic ride in my shuttle. And we're like, so remember before when we said don't go places where you're going to be easily assassinated? That's a really easy assassination to go flying alone with the other leader. And he's like, nah, you don't know.
And I decide, you know what? Well, at very least, you can have some surveillance. So I use one of my my perks that allows you to basically like ass pull an item out once per like mission. And so I ass pull a pick to like a little like basic camcorder and get it hooked up to my data slate.
Set up a nanny cam for
so
them.
we can spy on them while they're in the shuttle together. And I thought I was being pretty clever. I was like, at least we can get some intel, figure out what's going on.
It was clever. I was thinking that if combat breaks out, I'm very fast and very helpful. So I rolled really high sneaky. And then I essentially hid under the bed. That way, just in case something happens, they fly off.
And she gets all dressed up and glammed up. He gets in a tuxedo.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a bang date for sure.
And I'm there, just under the bed. Mm-hmm. And then, as we're flying around, everybody else is on the ground, pretty much being like, all right, so what do we do about this next thing? And then, okay, well, we can do that. And, well, I guess we should be doing this. And then I'm there committing all of Squashy's sex moves to memory because I have the talent eidetic memory. So now I know his moves.
Oh, that's
now-
a good idea.
Now, there's something else that happens about 2 weeks into the old journey that I wonder if you remember.
It happens every time loop.
Yep, 2 weeks
it's
in.
pretty. It's usually resolved pretty quickly, so it makes sense that it went over our heads.
Yeah.
The orcs attack?
The orcs
The orcs attack.
And we were all killed.
The space was flooded with torpedoes, and the shuttle exploded.
Oh, man.
And that was where we ended last time.
It was going
Big,
so well.
the big oopsie daisy.
That's a bit of an oopsie daisy.
Okay, so Kugel said that's not the real Squashy. I'm inclined to think he wasn't actually lying about that.
Yeah.
I think that there's further time shenanigans afoot, and that's like in Furious Passant, like 6 loops from now, is that Matt or something?
That's possible, especially
be really
because
funny.
what Kugel said is that Squashy is captured already. So this could be very well an imposter of some sort. Perhaps a man from the future, because we have fucking time loop going on. I agree. However, my character, Silas, he's not particularly interested with those particulars. He's more of a get the fuck off my ship, you cyborg son of a bitch style.
Right.
And
I mean, like, when we go into the next loop, I'm going to try and blow Kugel's brain out with my brain.
oh, I still have his arm and sword.
Oh.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna bring
phone.
that up. Yeah. And yeah, when he took the phone originally, he like jokingly like said like hello on it, and we were like, haha, funny bit. And then someone spoke back.
Kugel, is the job done? Is Squashy dead? Yeah! We got him! Tell everybody to pull back!
Yeah, we're fine down here. How are you?
We run away!
And with that, welcome back to Scryer's Room. I am your host, Famfare.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Rob. Thanks for having me, fellas.
Thank
No
you for
Mario
having us.
tonight. Mario
Yep.
is unwell.
Yep.
We hope he feels better soon.
And we are once again in Rob's House Studios. this time we are going to be taking a little bit of a break, right? We're going to be talking about some things that I do.
We're going to take this time to catch up on the things that we've been keeping up with.
Basically, we were sitting here talking before the episode, before the sound check, and it's kind of getting angry, like at each other with ourselves, you
really
know,
riling up.
Yeah, just kind of mentioning, what about this? What about that? And slowly just getting mad. Yeah, and we thought that'd be pretty good. So the thing that was pissing me off was Hunter.
Yes.
Hunter x Hunter.
Hunter x Hunter, however you want to pronounce it. It's made by Meth Man and his wife, Sailor Moon.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know that's the power couple.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Yu Yu Hakusho. Also,
I recently learned that the mangaka of Sailor Moon basically broke the stereotype that all mangaka have to come from poverty. I guess she was a rich girl.
Breaking that glass ceiling for rich kids everywhere.
Breaking that linoleum floor.
The linoleum floor.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, man.
Hunter x Hunter started off as like a basic shonen, and then it didn't decide on a power system for like 80 chapters.
It just whip cracks around. It's like the kind of story I'd imagine I'd write, but just kind of like ADHD nonsense. Like, stuff just sort of happens.
People are hardcore only like in very short bursts in like a whip crack situation.
The perspective character changes so often.
Yes. And in perspective is exactly how I would describe Hunter x Hunter, especially as of now, because it is like, okay, so you know where we are and who these characters are? That's good, because the next 6 pages are Game of Thrones style, just walls of text.
Mm-hmm. It starts out with like the game arc, and then it like they're involved. They become like mafia hitmen
Briefly, yeah.
And there's this thing of, God, I haven't read this in so long, and there's evil eBay, like criminal eBay, and they have to.
They go on the
what
dark.
happens in that arc?
They go on the dark web because they have to find all the evil eyeballs that were stolen from evil eyeball.
Right, and then there's like a gang of evil spellcasters.
There's
that are numbered.
The Phantom Troop.
Yeah.
Because they were the ones who killed all the evil eyeball people, and so Kurapika, who's an evil eyeball person, wants to get those eyeballs back, and he's gotten a lot of them back by being a mafia person. Mm-hmm. And
he's also the most complicated person to draw of all time. He just has like metal chains and stuff. And he has like a Sauron finger, you know what I mean? Remember like how they used to have that sometimes?
He's got Cybergoth jewelry,
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
And that arc, this is one of my first problems that I had with Hunter x Hunter. Because Hunter x Hunter has a lot of things that those are gay little boys. That's
right. And that's so like we go from gay little boys playing the competition game,
which is fine, by the way. It was perfectly compelling.
To the crime,
the mafia
story, and then we're back to the gay little boys, and not Goku and not Vegeta are playing a video game now.
That's kind of where I fell off, was when they went into the video game, and I was like, what the fuck is even happening right now?
Yeah. So, and they learned about rock, paper, scissors.
The thing about the Kurapika Mafia arc, though, there's a scene, and it fucking kills me. They come into contact with the Phantom Troop, and Kurapika is like, this is it. I have to go murder those guys. Thank you for telling me, my friends, that the Phantom Troop is here so that I can kill them. Now. And they're like, we're not going to let you go and fight to a murder death all on your own. We're going to help. And he's like, but they've already seen you. They'll recognize you. We'd better go in disguise. So obviously, all the other characters get in disguises, and Kurapika dresses like a woman. He hasn't been spotted yet.
He just decides.
Yeah. He didn't have to do that. He also isn't dressed as a different woman. He's dressed as Kurapika as a woman. It is his same, like, palette and, like, outfit, but just, like, what if it was a dress this time?
Well, they say that long-term amphetamine use will do that to you.
Long-term,
that's what I've read anyway.
It's a complicated drug. These are chemicals that are doing complicated things. Yeah. And, sometimes you have to dress as a woman so you can kill the great big buff guy that killed all your family.
Yeah. your family that all has evil snake eyes and long hair.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee you there's some sort of Japanese folklore that's the case.
They're probably based off of like, oh, it's the tribe with feet for heads.
Yeah. Everybody loves the Deaf Leopard people.
Yeah.
They all have such sick mullets.
The Ricardo tribe. So they do the mafia thing. They go into the video game. The video game is supposed to set up that like Gon's dad has actually been on a whole adventure.
This entire time, the main character... Well, calling him the main character is confusing and wrong. The main-est character...
Yeah.
His motivation is to find his dad... And when he finally does find his dad, it kind of doesn't matter.
No, not at all.
It's kind of like it's not satisfying, and then his dad goes away.
Yeah, and also
his dad was like taller than him.
Another thing that really bugs me that nobody blinks at it. It's plot relevant that Gon, he spent like his childhood essentially raised by a single mother, not his mother, but just a single woman. And then, like, he went off to go do adventuring stuff. And then later you find out more stuff about, like, what he did on the island. Like, oh, he caught this fish. And when he caught that fish, he met this character, Kite, and blah, 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 blah. But also, and this is just sort of glazed over, he was raised by the prostitutes of that island. Specifically, like, he's like, oh, yeah, and they taught me all about what you need to do to please a man or a woman. And that's
suspect.
That's a necessary part of the story, because otherwise he would have died. Because later there's an arc where it's like, okay, so there's turns out there's evil ants that can valmorphinize.
Right, that's the next arc. The first time I read that, I stopped reading there.
There's evil bugs from beyond this land, and when they eat people who have Nen, the power system of this, they like evolve rapidly. And one of them was a woman who was obsessed with him. And he saves the day essentially by being like, don't worry, the prostitutes told me how to handle this. I can please men and women with ease. And then no one fucking blinks as he walks away, a child.
Yeah, he's a boy.
I'll have you know, I was very molested.
Not a young man.
Yeah.
A boy.
This isn't Edward Elric at the start of Full Metal Alchemist.
Where he's just short, you know.
No.
Closer to Kid Goku.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This isn't even Naruto. This is Kid Goku. This is Kid Goku and an adult woman who's saying, I'll kill... Yeah, an adult woman bug person who's like, I'll kill and eat you. And he's like, nobody worry. I know exactly how to handle this.
Yeah. Yeah, and so
she's just frustrated.
Yeah,
and then there's bug chess. And then there's something.
There's a young girl living in the war-tornest country ever to not
North
be real.
Korea.
They're living in not North Korea. That's where the
West
Bugmen.
Korea.
They're living in West Korea, and that's where the Bugmen have like really taken root. And there's one little girl who has become the greatest mind in all of history, essentially at chess 2.
It's like chess shogi.
Yeah, it's
neither of those things.
It's neither of those things, and yet it's both of them, and she's the greatest at it. Her nose is always running, and she's blind, and everyone hates and spits on her for no reason.
She can't walk, right? She's a cripple too.
Yeah,
yeah.
And they're mean to her because the most pathetic, mean to cripple people.
The most pathetic girl on the planet.
She lives the kind of life where it's like, yeah, after dinner they always pour the hot oil on me. Like, she's living the worst life until the dictator is like, I wish to be the best at chess 2. Take her and make her, bring her to me.
She's my chess 2 advisor.
And she never gets to do that because the dictator gets eaten along with everybody else in West Korea. And then, like, the course of this, essentially, the ants produce, they call him the king. And he's...
In my head, he looks like Cell. Like, he's
Cell
like
Frieza.
Cell.
He's essentially, it's like, I want to do Frieza and Cell, but I don't want to do like a whole fucking Frieza and Cell thing. Let's just do this. And so he did that, and then not Frieza, not Cell shows up and is like, my motives are a mystery. Away! And then he just goes and fucks everything up. Meanwhile, the actual government is like, we need to call all of our baddest ninja wizards to go fight.
Call the nuclear bomb wizard.
We have to call the nuclear bomb wizard in order to fight Cell. And then the old man is like, it's been a while since I've been called up to do any nuclear bombing. And they're like, you're going to need to use this other kind of nuke. And he's like, don't you worry, I've got it handled. And this old guy...
The Warhammer 40k Molesto virus nuke.
Yeah. This old guy is like the Master Roshi. of Hunter x Hunter in many ways.
Yeah.
He's the master. If the main characters had a problem that they were able to bring up to him, like if they were able to bring it to words, he would say a single line that they would realize 10 chapters later, it was the answer all along. And he shows up and explains his backstory as...
How many chapters deep are we when the nuke was the heretofore unmentioned nuke wizard appears?
Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, and that's gonna be like the back half of Hunter. Like it never like the planning never kicks in.
No,
and so it's just kind of stuff happening.
It's a lot of stuff happening, which was really compelling for a long time. Is the problem, but he comes with the main characters on like the boat as they're headed to West Korea, and he mentors them briefly, and he explains his backstory. You know the Bruce Lee quote of I don't fear the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks. I practice the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times.
Yeah.
He is essentially that's what I did. I reached like the pinnacle of like human ability, and then I went out to a field, and then I would punch like 1,000 times a day, and every time I would do a perfect punch, I would sit down and then do a full meditation. So it takes all goddamn day. But I got really good at it, so it eventually only took most of the day, and then only some of the day. And then I was able to get it done in a flash, 10,000 punches and meditations, almost instantly. And then Cell blows his arm and leg off because, what the fuck are you talking about, old man? And then he's like, unfortunately, you've activated my trap card. It's a nuke that is an infectious virus of other nukes. Blows everybody up, he's dead.
Yeah, boom, everyone's gone. The nuke goes off.
Cell Freezer, the king, is still alive, but he's all burned up. And
his chest friend is dead now.
His chest friend's still alive at this point. She is back at the house, really.
Right.
And then his boys, because they made the ants made like a royal guard before they birthed the king.
Because there needed to be
There needed to be goons.
Okay, yeah. Interrupting real quick. So... We had mentioned that Hunter x Hunter man is married to Sailor Moon Girl.
Yes.
And when he first introduces the Royal Guards...
It starts with Neferpitou.
Yeah, one is a cat girl named Neferpitou, and she is drawn very ghoulishly and creepy. She's supposed to be this like sinister Machiavelli, like machinations, like puppet master kind of character. And as the chapters go on, Neferpitou gets more and more kawaii to the point that she is drawn 100% like... Bishoujo style, and it's fucking hilarious. You can see Sailor Moon in her fucking face.
She's
picking up the slack.
She's so hardcore when she first shows up. That character that we met like way back on the island with Gon, Kite, is like, I was actually a student of your father, and I'm the second strongest dude behind your father. And he's like, wow, and you're here to help us in West Korea? And he's like, that's right. We're going to be best friends. Now hold on, I need to fight this cat girl. And the next page is her holding his severed head because it was not a tough fight. So things were looking bad for Neferpitou. She was looking scary. And then...
Yeah,
she started getting Sailor Moon.
She got Sailor Moon. Like you can like look at like as the chapters go on, she gets more and more kawaii and bishoujo. It's fucking hilarious.
And to balance that, obviously, there are two other royal guards. One is an always nude buff man, and the other,
if I was the king, I'd have that.
An effeminate, essential, like a cartoon of, like a.
He's a butterfly like or a moth.
He's like a butterfly man.
If I was the king, I'd have that.
Yeah. This is my twink, this is my Bara, and that is my cat girl.
It's a good dynamic.
Yeah. Anyway, the twink and the Bara actually discover the nuke-roasted body of the king, and so they feed him their delicious nectar. That does happen.
That's what happens! And then they become like chibi little gremlins.
They become little chibis.
I forgot about that. Wow, that's fucking wild.
Unfortunately, the nuke did give the king AIDS. And
super AIDS.
The AIDS spread.
Contagious.
It's bad. So his boys are also They've also got nuke aids, and the king realizes that he's going to die. And essentially the government calls him and is like, you can do whatever you want for the last 5 minutes, idiot, because you're dead from nuke aids. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I will do the only thing that's worth doing in my life. And then he goes to his chess 2 partner and is like, little girl, I was never able to defeat you at chess 2. And she's like, it's all right. I love playing chess 2. And you said you weren't going to cut my head off unless I, lost or something. Whereas the other guy, he could have just cut my head off for no reason. He's like, I remember him. I ate him. So he's like, what we're going to play chess 2 because I'm dying. And she's like, that's sad. I've really enjoyed playing chess with you. And he's like, and also, I'm extremely selfish. You're definitely going to die too. You have AIDS now that I've walked into the room. Sorry. And she's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
It's a living.
I was just going to say that.
I think in that arc, there's like several other Chimera ants. There's one named Welfin, who's a wolfman.
Okay. Like,
this is so little of the plot.
Okay, every time there is a new arc,
there's a whole new crowd of people to meet.
You keep 4 to 6 of the characters from the last arc, and 30 to 50 new ones come in.
Yeah.
And at this point, that has happened 3 times or 4 times.
So there's also another plot thing that I was hoping would come back, but it hasn't yet. And it might have. I stopped reading Hunter x Hunter. But they explain that when you are in the Chimera Ant sort of system where they eat people, and then if you have the magic juice in you sort of get reborn through the Chimera Ants, and people like remember their pasts. And the Chimera Ant adult woman who definitely molested Gon, she knew Gon beforehand. They were partners on this mission. Then she got eaten, and then when she came back, she was still obsessed with him. But one of the big things that has driven Gon through all of this is that Kite got killed, and he wants revenge on Neferpitou. Don't get too attached to that kind of plot point, because Kite's back as a little girl.
I forgot about
that.
A monkey girl.
A monkey girl.
That is what happens.
That is what happens. But before we find out about that, Gon got way too mad when he found out that he essentially made a deal with Neferpitou, like, hey, you can bring him back to life, right? And she's like, oh, most definitely. I'm crazy strong. And he's like, okay, bring him back or I'll kill you. And she's like, that's not possible. So he becomes a man really fast.
Yeah. This is like the climax of
the climax of the arc
of the whole thing. Really is when he just grows to adult size and age with his powers. He just clenches really hard and and now he's 25 instead of being a kid.
The moment he finds out that no, I can't bring people back from the dead, that's ridiculous, he starts being an adult man to beat the shit out of her about it. My favorite part about this, however, is how Gon is dressed at all times. He's a little boy, and he dresses like a little boy. He wears a shirt, like a tank top, and he wears a jacket, and he's got shorts.
He has the boy shorts.
And he's got little boy shoes and boots. Yay, I'm so fun. It's good outdoorsy. And then he becomes a man, and he is dressed sluttier than Baki. He's got a crop top.
Some interesting
Gucci
character
daddy
designs
shorts.
in Hunter x Hunter. Some interesting character designs.
That people, you're 10, 15 years into the math. You don't know what man, woman. I assume you can't care after 10.
He's ascended to a new realm of thinking.
Yeah,
that's what we need to accept.
Yeah, exactly.
So, another thing that happened that didn't come back up that I thought would is, aside from West Korea housing what their version of Kim Jong-un who got destroyed, there's also, according to just the text, the most evil crime man to ever crime. And he was so evil and criminal that he figured out how to do all the evil, or how to do Nen and all the evil powers and stuff, just by being such a rotten motherfucker. Pure mischief. Yeah, just an awful guy. And he got eaten. And then everyone is like, he will return. Well, get that out of your head. He doesn't return. They beat up all the Chimera ants, and then they send the survivors on their way. And there are survivors also, which is funny. There's like a wolf man who, once he realizes that like the king existed, like all of his hair fell out, so he's just naked and scared
he aged
now.
like 100 years or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And he's one of the only ones that survive. Like, there's a few of them that end up surviving the whole like dirty bomb / king dying. And they just treat them like regular people after that, inexplicably, because they're fucking monsters.
One of them deserves to be treated like regular people, and that is our boy the octopus.
Yeah.
There is an octopus whose power is turning half into a sniper rifle and just sitting on the head of a corpse to
And
pilot.
the chameleon. The chameleon was pretty cool.
The chameleon was pretty cool, yeah.
There's a few
There are a couple of them
that are pretty cool.
that get to live.
But Welfin wasn't one of them.
Welfin was not one of them, no. In fact, he was a really bad guy the entire time.
And he wanted to be the king. He was like trying to be a sneaky little sabotagey man. It was a whole thing.
But after that, Gon has a problem. Because it turns out if you just decide, I don't care if I have any powers anymore, I just want to beat the shit out of this person as hard as I can, the power system of this world takes your word for it. And he beat the shit out of Neferpitou as hard as he could. He kills her. And he loses an arm. And then he shrivels into a mummy, screaming blood out of his mouth at all times because he's dying, because he was ready to trade his whole life.
It turns out you can't age 20 years at once. It doesn't work like that.
No, it kills you almost. So, his boyfriend, Killua, is like, we can't... By the way, Killua was off doing a whole other half of the war. Like, half of the war was being held by fucking the Master Roshi nuclear team. And then the other half of the war was Killua being like, all right, Killua, you can handle this. Gon's out there and he's feeling real bad about his friend dying. You can do this. And then by the time he gets back, Gon is like a blackened husk. And he's like, okay, there's one thing that we can do to fix this. My family is full of evil ninjas.
My mullet Snake Eyes family.
My mullet Snake Eyes family is full of evil ninjas. So, obviously, my little sister, her power is that she's the villain from The Ring. She's Samara, she's evil as shit, and she kills you with horror. But she can also grant wishes. And there are complicated rules about it.
That he did set that up in the past. That did happen.
That did happen, yes. And then Killua's like, I gotta make sure that I get the wish to happen so that she saves Gon. But if you use the wish, she tends to ask for something from you. And he's like, I super hope she doesn't ask me to kill him, but I really foresee that happening. So, I'm gonna make the wish, and then I'll be ready to sacrifice myself for anything else. I love my sister, I love Gon, that's all that matters. And the rest of his family is like, you can't use our precious wishing child! What are you, insane?
For non-murder reasons?
For non-murder reasons? Yeah. And every time that you use the wishing child, she asks for something like in recompense, which is completely disproportional. I asked for her to fold a document for me, and she asked me to pull out 3 of my teeth. It's crazy. You know what's going to happen if you ask her to save somebody that you love? It's going to be horrible. And then he makes the wish. Turns out, no. If you make a nice wish, you're fine.
And no one had tried that up until...
No one had tried it. They're evil. Snake Eyes, mullets.
Snake Eyes murder family.
And then as far as, like... For the longest time, that was essentially the end. Because Gon, while he's hospitalized and Killua's going to save his sister to make this wish, you get to meet Gon's dad. And also, like, the weird governing body of the wizards and shit.
They just introduced these Zodiac motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And, like...
Yeah, okay. And then forget all of that. Forget literally all of that. Forget everything that we just said up until now, except that there is a man whose name is Kurapika, and he has a weird chain finger thing, Sauron finger.
He's got his Cybergoth jewelry that only works on the Phantom Troop, and also he's relatively good enough at karate to be like a pretty good bodyguard.
And him and like 2 other side characters...
Yeah. They have been conscripted to be bodyguards because the new thing that's coming out, the new news. So you remember Master Roshi back there? Well, we wanted to use his face again because when I drew him young, that was a pretty good character design. So we're just going to do that again. His name is Beyond. He's the son of that guy, and he just came from the New World.
Okay, so the entire time there's been an America, and the America is just the high-level zone. It's a high-level zone, you can't go there.
So here's the thing. Looking at the world map, it's all 7 continents that we have on Earth just sort of on their side. Mm-hmm. And then the New World, the revelation is, so you remember those guys who were talking about the flat Earth and how this is all technically one sort of plane? They're half right. The world's a lot bigger than anyone thinks. We are living essentially on like a continental island surrounded by water. And then that is surrounded by an even bigger, more evil continent where things like the Chimera...
Heretofore unmentioned, heretofore unknown.
That's where the evil like ants and things come from. And I, as Master Roshi's son, have just returned, and I intend to go back and set up a colony. Mm-hmm. We're going to break in new land. Who's with me? Only the baddest dudes are invited.
Only the most criminal criminals.
Only the most criminal criminals.
Only the most heretofore unmentioned criminals.
So the Saudi royal family essentially picks out their most evil of inheritors to be like, put your hand in the evil jar of evil powers, and then it gives you a superpower. Now get on the boat, and now your job is, when you get to that colony, you're going to claim that for your own country, for our royal family. But to do that, you need to kill all of the other like inheritors that are on the boat.
And there are 16?
There are 16 of them.
There are 16 inheritors.
And I hope you have a good memory.
5 to 8 bodyguards.
Yes.
All of which have names and faces.
And unique powers.
None of whom, with the exception of like 3 guys, have been mentioned before. Also, the power system...
We're getting a revamp.
It's just got rewritten.
A new patch dropped. The new expansion came out. And now the talent system has been redone.
We'll get a minimum of 96 new characters.
And yes. Gon and Kahlua the Gay Little Boy. Yeah, it is. Unironically, it's about 100.
Yeah.
Somewhere 50 to 100.
Yeah.
And they're all on this giant boat. They're all on a boat the size of a starship going over to Australia, America, wherever they're going. And... none of the characters make it, and the gay little boys are not in the comic at this point anymore. Don't ask about them, because we're not going to tell you.
Oh, yeah. Gon, after he got wished better, just doesn't have superpowers anymore, so he's like, I guess I have to retire and go back to school. And Killua, his boyfriend, is like, I'll love you forever! Ugh! And then we just don't see them anymore. Mm-hmm. We're getting on the boat with this other gay boy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And frankly...
and the evil clown man is there. The entire time,
so that's
there's been an evil clown man. He's part of the crime group that the Sauron finger guy doesn't like, but he's not really cool with them, because actually, no one is as cool as him, man.
No, he's the best.
Yeah. Because
he rapes the most, he kills the most, he steals the most.
Yeah. He's the sinisterest, clownest one.
He's the worst one. Uh-huh. And the first time he saw the main character...
he throws playing cards like Gambit.
Yeah, he throws playing cards like Gambit, and he saw the main character as a little boy when they were on their, like, they were taking an X-Man test at the time, and he got an erection right away, decided, I'm going to kill this kid, but first, I have to be just villainous enough that he raises his power level to try to beat me, and then I can beat him.
Right. And this guy has been basically in the background of all the arcs doing...
fucking around.
Yeah, doing what he wants, working at his own purposes that never actually come to fruition, because again, like that, there isn't planning like that, so he's around, but he like, to say he has an arc or anything like that is mistaken. He's just kind of there.
His intentions from the beginning are twofold. The guy who's in charge of the evil numbered group that Kurapika wants to kill, he also wants to fight that guy, because previously they've fought 2 or 3 times, and Hisoka keeps losing. Clown Man doesn't like losing. He likes fighting. So he's going to beat that guy, and then that's it.
Yeah.
He has no other thoughts. Yeah. He saw Gon, and he was like, that'd be cool. That's a fun side project. But otherwise, all of this is going on. We're getting onto the boat. It's a whole new thing.
All the crime people are there, so of course Hisoka's there.
All the crime people have snuck aboard, and they're like, we're going to take over this joint. And then, essentially... So, first off, Hisoka always dresses like an evil clown also, except when he's in disguise. Then he's an evil clown wearing a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Still pretty clearly an evil clown.
That's so stupid.
And so, like
a ball cap and a t-shirt. He's like, No one will ever know.
In between, like, entire pages of text with no drawing explaining how the power system is different now, like, Game of Thrones occurs between the 100 new characters across 16 to 20 factions.
Yeah.
All vying for control of this hyperboat.
And all of them are lying to each other. So every single time that a character says something, we also have to get a separate page of the character that's lying saying, like, they believe that lie. And then the other page is like, I think he's lying to me. Yeah. And then on the third page, you can finally get them being like, well, all right, I guess we'll keep being on this boat. And then nothing fucking happens!
Yeah. Words.
It was fucking infuriating. Yeah. I stopped reading at that point.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, like, I don't think that we'll ever get off that boat before he dies. Like,
Kurapika is more likely to cross-dress again for no reason than we are to, like, have them get off that boat. This is Berserk all over again. You don't know about this. I read Berserk from the time that I was a little middle school puke piece of shit.
As opposed to an adult piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly. I was much smaller then. And I loved Berserk. But at the time that I started reading, it was already, like, past the Eclipse and everything. And then I got into, like, high school. And then in high school, he got on a boat. Guts got on a boat. And then they started the Berserk wild ride on the boat. And then we were on that boat for like 6 years.
Because he
puts out like a chapter every 4 months.
And there is a direct correlation between his obsession with the Idolmaster and the lack of Berserk. You can actually
You used to be able to... There was
you could track it.
You could track it where it's like the new Idolmaster came out, so he also announced the hiatus. And then it would be like 4 months, and he'd be like, it's a hard thing to draw. And he puts out a chapter of beautiful fucking art of Guts fighting an old god. He essentially did, what's the Lovecraft story where it's the town of fish people?
Shadow over Innsmouth.
He did Shadow over Innsmouth that ends with his giant sword man jumping into the belly of an old god to punch its heart.
That's pretty metal.
It ruled.
Totally and completely badass.
And he made it take so fucking long because he was like, well, obviously I had to take 4 months off to play Idolmaster. A new one came out, and I had to play through with her wearing glasses.
I had to take 4 months off to play meth.
I wish it was just meth.
Now you can also like see like a correlation between the character Sherrick being introduced, and him playing Idolmaster, because as the
every new time it came up, she was cuter and cuter.
She got more and more kawaii.
Yeah.
It happened. He was possessed by the fucking spirit of shoujo.
Honestly, like it really made. I think it was a good thing in one regard because previously some of his female characters had some same face.
Yeah, absolutely. They were more like they existed because they needed to, not because he was invested.
Now back to drawing this large man.
Yeah, my badass large man.
And then
his twink friend.
That was the only way that. So my theory was that he has he didn't realize until like really late in his career, there's a minimum amount of cuteness that he needs to draw, otherwise he goes insane and has to kill himself. Mm-hmm. Because early on, Berserk is just darkness. Guts is fighting an evil snake man who is like eating people and like doing Scrooge type things where it's like, so you're having trouble bringing me more orphan meat? Then you'll have to work through Christmas.
You'll bring me the orphan meat, or you're out of a job.
And Guts just shows up to beat the shit out of everybody, and there's one guy who, like, the guy ate most of him. The snake guy ate, like, 3/4 of the guy. He's got 2 peg legs, half an eyeball left, and he just, like, crawls around on crutches, and he's like, I hear you've come to kill the snake man. And Guts is like, don't ever speak to me, you awful golem.
One of the lines, one of the edgiest lines from Berserk that, like, was burned into my psyche was they basically like call Guts out on all of his like friendly fire, and now he is killing people indiscriminately to be able to kill the demons. And he's like, "Don't you have a heart? Don't you have a soul?" And he says, "If I had to worry about all the ants I stepped on when I walked, I wouldn't be able to walk around now, would I?"
Which was brought up again when Griffith wanted to become a member of the God Hand because it's actually a very good manga. Anyway.
Full circle. It's well written, very well written.
Yeah, but during all of this, Guts has like a little fairy guy named Puck with him, who is a cute shonen mascot character.
It was basically supposed to be the kawaii relief.
He's like a very simply drawn most of the time, unless they do a close up, in which case he's like, now to draw the femmiest femboy who's ever femme.
Yeah,
good,
good content,
and he'll be in every chapter that doesn't have Griffith or Casca in it for the next forever until I die. Until I die, every chapter will have one face that I've decided I'm gonna cute the fuck out of.
Yeah, so I wrote the Great Gazoo into my comic. Extra sexy.
Yes.
Yeah.
and I think he only figured out that he had to do that really late. Because, like, you can see he's like, we don't need to have, in everything. And then now he's like, no, obviously all the characters that I want to draw are the ones that matter. Okay? The sooner we all make our peace with it, the better. It's all working out. It's an incredible manga. However, I need to draw. Griffith needs to be this hot. Okay? He came back. He got to make a whole new body out of star particles powered by the evil god, and he's either in black spandex Batman outfit or just the most beautiful man that's ever been drawn every single time.
That's how I found out what Berserk was. People started posting that. I'm like, what is this? What is this black leather twink? What's happening here?
He's the most powerful being in the universe right now.
And the 1999 Berserk might be 98 or 97, but the anime still holds up in like modern era.
The 99 anime is beautiful. It covers the very first arc with Snake Man,
the Golden Age,
and then up through the Golden Age. Because the way that the Berserk actually is he made the original prototype of Berserk, where Guts has like it's an eye patch, but like the ties on the eye patch are really long, so he has like a headband situation going on. And it's essentially the same thing as the first arc, but Guts is also like, Griffith is a girl in this version.
Yeah.
Griffith and Casca are kind of mixed. It's unclear where he was going to go with that. However, in actual Berserk, it starts off, Guts is hardcore as fuck, he's banging this lady, she turns out to be a demon, he blows her head off with his arm cannon. And then he goes...
Totally and completely badass.
And then he goes and he fights the Snake Man. And then he goes to the next town over where he knows there's another demon guy, and it's this fat king, and he turns into a giant slug monster. And then through this fight, you find out...
That's the power I would have.
That Guts, he's hardcore as fuck, but he's got a soft spot for kids, because he also knows, you're still, being made. It's not up to you what you do. And also, don't pursue the same kind of life that I did, kid. And then we go into the flashback of the Golden Age. He is so cool.
And there's, like 1,000,001 renditions of the Golden Age.
Oh, yeah. If there's a thing that you find that is Berserk, 9 out of 10 times, it's another... we did the Golden Age again.
And Berserk is the one where they did, that's notorious for the bad CG, in AI.
They really fucked that up.
I think that was Studio Mappa, too.
I don't know what studio did it, but they really pissed me off.
Yeah.
Berserk, the manga, and the 1999 anime are so beautifully done.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's impeccable.
That it is crazy how low quality the CGI anime is. They just shake him as he's walking and rattle a can of coins for the sound effect of chainmail.
The reason I started laughing out of nowhere is because you said 1999 Berserk and I thought of 1999 Beowulf.
Yeah.
And it was really weird that Griffith was just smoking a blunt for that entire arc.
Hey, that's how it is. But Berserk goes from he kills Snake Man, he kills Slug Man. There are demons in this planet. He uses a sword that is the size of him and just as wide.
It was more of a metal slab than a weapon.
And he's got a cannon in one arm. And then we're
Does
okay.
he cut people with the sword and just kind of crush them?
Both.
So it is sharpened. It's not sharp. It's sharpened.
I don't know enough about the physics of that, to talk about, would it cut?
Technically speaking, when we say cut, we don't mean what would happen when that sword...
They die.
They're sheared, it would be the term.
Sheared. Okay, I like that.
Yeah. Because there's if the wedge is cleaving apart, it can split it, but a shear is okay, the weight hits it, and then one side doesn't react, and the other side is like completely blasted through. And if that's like got a triangular wedge-like point, even blasting through, it's very cut-like. It shears through them.
Got it.
It's a big fucking sword. He cleaves through like groups of dudes, and so we flash back to the birth of Guts. He's a pretty hardcore dude. How do you think he was born?
Cut out of his mother with a sword.
That's a pretty good guess, and not as hardcore. He was discovered by a roving band of mercenaries because he had fallen out of his pregnant mother who had been hanged to death in a tree. And the leader of the mercenaries, his wife, was going insane with plague fever. And so she adopted him, saying this is her baby now. And so he's like, well, keeps my lady happy. I guess we have a baby until it dies. And then the baby didn't die. But Plague Mom eventually did, leaving little kid Guts alone with abusive mercenary dad, who, at the end of the day...
Kid doesn't even know how to hold a sword.
So that's where he was at first. He's like, kid doesn't even know how to hold a sword. And he trains him, but he makes him train with like a real sword. It's like an adult sword, which proportionally to a child is like a giant
It's
sword.
like a gut sword.
And then he's training him, and he's also really taking advantage to be like, yeah, I do sword training with the kid. Gives me a good excuse to kick him. And then while he's doing that, Guts, because he's learning, he gets him. He does a counter move, and he cuts his dad, and he's like, Dad, I did it! Aren't you proud of me? And he's like, how dare you cut me, little boy! And he slashes him across his face, and Guts is in and out of like a fever for like days as he gets his trademark face scar.
His sixth scar,
His sixth scar. And then it's time for the first battle. And they go into battle, and he's like, listen, Guts, you're a little kid, so you're definitely going to die. But until you die, what I need you to do is hand me my spear or my sword or whatever I ask you for. You're just going to hand me shit while I go kill people. And Guts is like, okay, Dad, I still love you. And he's like, shut up. Don't ever speak to me. and they go to like 2 or 3 fights, and it goes really well until one of his dad's friends, Donovan, who is unironically a
Josh Ass character.
Yeah.
He's just a big black man.
Yeah.
He's unironically
a big
black
old head,
man.
and he cucks people. He's Josh Ash character.
And he's like, I like your boy.
I like you and I want you.
And
So we can either do this the easy way or the hard way.
so
The choice
Guts'
is
dad
yours.
is like, oh, you do? And he's like, yeah. And then the next scene is Guts laying in his tent like, Dad was really mad at me today. I hope everything's all right. And then he gets raped as a little boy. Just wham right in there.
And you forgot one of the most like insult to injury parts. Guts got paid for that battle.
Yeah.
And he takes his entire fat sack of silver, takes a single coin, and gives it to his dad, and is like, "Are you proud of me? I got you all this money. I need more."
Okay, so an important part of this that I did leave out. While Guts has a few good fights being Scryer to his dad, eventually his dad gets hit with a cannonball. But it's like a 1200 style cannon, so it doesn't blow him into meat chunks. It just severs his leg below the knee.
Okay.
So he's a one-legged man in charge of a mercenary band. He can't fight anymore. So Guts goes and fights now on his own. He's a little older. He can hold a sword. And when he gets paid, he goes and he gives the money to his dad. And he's like,
Gambino.
I still love you. And he's like, get the fuck out of here. I'm trying to feed my daughter.
You're the source of my bad luck.
What did we say about eye contact with Daddy?
Limit it to Christmas and birthdays. Christmas is canceled. So he gets assaulted in his tent, and while he's doing that, he's like, no! And the other guy's like, yes, in fact, I paid your dad to be able to do this. And he's like, why would you lie? What a weird insult to injury thing to do while you're doing this to me. And then the next day, Guts is like, hey, Dad. And his dad's like, why, yes, Guts? You know about anything that happened last night? Can't say I do. And he's like, good. That means he was lying. That's very good. And they go to their next battle. And then while they're battling, Guts makes eye contact with the guy. And the guy, like, he all but, like, looks at him and, like, blows him a kiss. And Guts just, like, rides off over to the side, and the guy, like, follows him on horseback, and Guts, like, just fucking ices him. Crossbow.
You're right, yeah, right in the heart.
Ah! Why? And he's like, you know,
mean why?
What do you mean why? And he kills him. And then, like, he gets paid, and everything seems fine again, until eventually, Gambino, old
Until
dad...
a bigger, blacker guy shows up.
What a cruel world! No! Paying even more money!
And this one's like 8.5 foot tall.
So you can see why this is considered the darkest saying of all time.
Yeah, I can see it.
Anyway, eventually his dad, like, sort of hits a breaking point and breaks into his son Guts' tent in the night and is like, I've come to kill you. I'm tired of having you around, and you're really responsible for my wife dying and all the misfortune that has befallen me. I'm here to kill you.
I blame all my shortcomings on you!
And he's like...
That one time you made eye contact with me and it wasn't Christmas? It's all because of that!
You know why. And he's like, Dad, no! Why do bad things keep happening to me? And then, like, his dad's like, and you know what else? He did pay me. That did happen. He wasn't lying. He's like, Dad, how could you? And he tries to sword fight him, and he stabs his dad through the neck. His dad falls over dead, and he's like, oh, beans. And then all the other mercenary guys are like, what's going on in here? Oh my god! Oh my god! Guts has killed his father for no reason! In his own tent! And so Guts has to, like, run away, and then we get another time skip. By the way, during his runaway, he's, like, shot with arrows as he's, like, riding away on a horse, and he gets, like, attacked by wolves.
It's just dark. It's bleak.
He's like, let me
It's
die! And then, like, for 400 fucking chapters or some shit, there's just a times like a broken, like, amount of time there. We don't know what happens. And then later we do get to find out what happens. Would you like to guess what happens to little baby Guts after he has escaped?
What?
Well, you see, he joins this really nice guy comes to him and is like, if you join my army and fight for me, like, I'll pay you. And he's like, that's fantastic. And he goes and they fight and they win. And then the guy's like, and I got this boy. I think I'll sell him to slavery. And then Guts is like, you can't. No! And then he's sold into slavery. And then he almost dies in prison, but a little dandelion flower grows in his cell and he meets a little fairy that lives on it. And he's like, oh, good. I'm finally dying. That's what it means when you see a fairy in your prison
I would assume
cell.
this, yes.
But evidently, no. He's saved by the fairy. Oh, that's his first thing. You don't get to see that for like 400 chapters, so it's not really relevant. The next thing that actually happens is Guts is like a rowdy teenager now, and he's got a big sword. Not just a big sword for a little kid, a big sword for a man. It is 3 times the thickness of every other two-handed sword, and it doesn't even have a sheath. It has a leather strap with like a catch-in, like, for the bottom of the blade. And he is just walking from battle.
Condom.
Yeah, he's a sword condom. And he walks from battlefield to battlefield saying, like, I'll fight for you. Let me kill. And they're like, okay. And then he kills, and they're like, you're so good at killing. Will you join our army? And he's like, don't ever speak
Nothing
to me.
personnel, kid.
Yeah. And then we get to see him fight this one guy who's called the Grey Knight. And he's got armor thicker than everybody else, and he's essentially holding off an army by himself. He's a huge guy with an axe. And Guts is like, I'll kill that guy, but only for like 100 gold. And they're like, if you're able to kill him, we'll give you 200. And he's like, well, bet, I'll do it. And he goes up to fight him, and essentially, only because the other guy had been fighting for so long and his axe was chipped, and Guts kills him with his sword. And he gets the payment, and the guy's like, I want you to join my army. And Guts
I'm not falling for that one again.
Absolutely not. Yeah, this has happened a couple of times to me by now. Go fuck yourself, sir. And then he goes off to walk through the most idyllic sort of like hillsides, like a real like Miyazaki movie type hillsides.
Yeah.
Where there's just some dudes just like laying in the grass. They got like a straw in their mouth. Like, it's so beautiful, you know. We were part of that extended conflict too. Before the siege broke.
I'm just so chill. I've never been molested. I never had to kill anyone with a sword.
We've never been molested. We're just like a regular...
My life is so good.
We're an army. We're like a mercenary group that was a pickpocket gang. And frankly, the worst thing that happened to us is we were hungry sometimes. we really had a good go of it.
Yeah, we're from a more Disney style of poverty.
Hey, there's a lone man on the street. That's that kid who got the 200 gold for killing the guy in the armor. Let's rob him. And they run down to rob him and start getting hacked to pieces because Guts is hardcore like that. Mm-hmm. So Casca shows up, the female lead. And she's like, all right, that's enough. We're done now. And Guts is like, we ain't done with shit. Fucking run them hands!
Yeah, I'm busy cutting these robbers in half. Go away.
Show me them paws! Yeah. And
those pockets.
She tries to fight him, and Guts, despite being like on foot, and she's on horseback, he handles her. And then Guts gets shot with a crossbow, and he's like, damn! Who shot me? And there's a mysterious man in white armor, and his horse is white, and the armor on the horse is white. And he's like, you son of a bitch! And then that guy runs up and just sort of stabs Guts, and he's like, damn you! And Guts passes out. And he wakes up in a fever. And there's a hot lady next to him, and he's like, who's this bitch? I don't let people touch me, not since the whole thing with Donovan. I don't like people touching me. And he falls asleep, and he wakes back up. He's in a tent. And it turns out the beautiful man in the beautiful white armor is named Griffith. And that hot lady, why, that's his number one lady, Casca. They're not in a relationship or anything, but she's the only female warrior, and she's so great. He believes in her, and she loves him. And we're all a great family, and we're the most successful mercenary group made out of a ragtag group of pickpockets. And frankly, you're so good, Guts. We want you to join our army. To which Guts said, all right. And he weakly raises up his fists. Run them hands, boy! We ain't done here! And Griffith is like, we can fight about it if you want. I was hoping like this would be like a hiring scenario, you know? And they fight about it, and Guts does things like... he like fights with a giant sword, and Griffith has like a tiny little like saber, and he just like parries everything. And Guts is like, stop it! That's cheating! You're using the quick time events, and I'm not good at those!
And then Guts, he likes to fight dirty. So he, like, faints and gets his sword stuck in the ground.
Yeah.
And then flings dirt in his eyes.
And Griffith's response to this is once the dirt is flung in, or once the sword is in the dirt, he jumps on it. So he's like, pull it out now. I'm standing on your sword. And Guts is like, you're pretty confident, huh? And Griffith's like, I feel like I'm really, I'm a bit of a higher level than you. So Guts just tackles his ass off the hill.
Not only that, he bites the tip of his sword to fling it out to like wrest it out of his hands, and then leans forward so he's on top of him.
Yeah, and just starts wailing on the twink. Just Griffith is getting the ever-living tar punched out of his face like an MMA fight that you think is probably pretty close to the end. Unfortunately, Griffith is way better at MMA. Because he just grabs his arm, puts him in a judo lock, and is like, okay, I'm going to dislocate your arm, or you can say uncle, and then you can be my number one guy and maybe my boyfriend, because I really like you, Guts. And he's like, I knew you were gay! They talk about this.
Actual dialogue!
Yeah. And he's like, you can say whatever you want, Guts. You're going to be part of my army. Now, you can either have a dislocated arm about it, or you could just be fine. And he's like, you can dislocate these nuts! And then he passes out when his arm gets dislocated. And now he works for Griffith. And Griffith explains that we were a pickpocket army, you see. And then we got enough money that I was able to buy a sharpened piece of metal. And then we became bandits. And after a brief time of banditry, we became a mercenary group. And I am the greatest strategic mind in the world. Because I realized that your horsies, they don't have to stop running after they, meet the guys. You can just make them run away the other way. And then you can go around them.
Yes, you can. Yes.
And so from that moment, the rest of the Golden Age is essentially, and then Griffith, with that level of strategy, takes over all of Europe. His mercenary group is hired by the king, and they just sweep like the Ottomans and the French and everybody.
They're basically fighting the 100 Years' War between, I think it's like the Tudors, and then there's like
there's Wyndham and
Wyndham. Yeah, Wyndham is supposed to be France. Tudor is supposed to be England.
None of whom know that horses can run.
They know that horses run, but you run them with a lance or something right at the other guys, and then
you run through the people.
Yeah,
that's how you do it.
And if you can't do that, you just sit on your horse side by side another guy on his horse, and you fight each other like
Yeah,
that.
and Griffith uses light cavalry tactics and skirmish cavalry tactics, and has like mounted crossbowmen doing fusillades.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick. But yeah, they basically reenact the 100 Years' War, and then Griffith is the one that's instead of Joan of Arc, they have Griffith.
Yeah. And then he does so good that the king is like, listen, if you're able to like fully win this war for me, I'm not only going to make you like part of our army, which would like, you'd be paid. I'm going to make you specifically a nobleman, a really high ranking one. And Griffith is like, that's my dream. I want to like become a king of some sort. And the king's like, shut the fuck up about that. I want you to go do this. But also, there's like a weird thing going on at this castle. We sent a bunch of dudes, and they said there was only one guy there, and then everyone's dead now. Can you go check that out? And they're like, well, I guess. And they go to check it out, and there's a naked, super duper shredded man wielding a gut sword style cleaver. And there's just parts everywhere, just body parts. And they're like, this could be the legend of Zod the Immortal, Nosferatu Zod. And they're like, what's that? Well, he's like an immortal Satan man who only enjoys warfare, so he finds places to butcher men until he is satisfied. And they're like, is that real? And Griffith is like, that sounds like a bunch of made-up nonsense. Raider team, get your asses in there. And Guts is the leader of the Raiders, so he's like, I got my boys on this. Boys, go check out what's in there. And then one guy comes out like, it's bad! Oh, it's bad! He's missing an arm. He's just blood. And Guts is like, this is crazy. I'd better go in there myself. And he sees the big naked man just cutting people up, and he tries to fight him. And this guy he's got powers. This guy's strong as shit. And he's so strong that Guts can't win. And then Griffith shows up. And together they're able to fight him. And they're able to really get him. And then he's like, this has been an interesting fight. You guys are strong. I'll turn into Satan now. And then he becomes a 20-foot tall, half lion, half buffalo monster. He looks like Satan. He looks like a lion Satan. And suffice to say, Guts and Griffith, whose powers are owning swords, can't really handle it. But they do cut off one of his arms. And he's like, that was a pretty good, as he sticks his arm back on, that was a pretty good move. Now I'll kill you. And then he sees that Griffith is wearing a thing on his neck. And previously we talked about this evil cursed thing on his neck. So, whatever. And then when he sees it, he's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. The time loop's not ready yet. Destiny is not yet fulfilled. I suppose that this is the workings of God. I'll get you boys next time. By the way, you, Guts, guy, you're his best friend, and Guts is like, you're damn right, I love Griffith, and Griffith loves me. And he's like, well, I would get out of there if I were you. Things are gonna go bad for you. And he's like, get fucked, Satan, you don't know. And he's like, whatever. Grows wings, he flies away.
Peace.
Peace. There was a cool scene involving the little orb thing that Griffith wears, where one of the other nobles, I think the king's brother, is trying to get Griffith assassinated because he's like, this commoner has become a nobleman and is making a meteoric rise, making a mockery of us. He has to go. And he tries to get him assassinated, like the king's hunt or whatever.
Yeah. During the hunt, they shoot him with a poison crossbow.
And it only doesn't kill him because it hit the little gem thingy instead.
It hit the evil
So
orb.
he kind of has this providence thing going on where...
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Satan also said that that's a great portent of destiny and that the time is not yet right, but destiny is coming soon. And Guts is like, none of that means anything. Everyone knows that wizards are bullshit. And then they go back, and there's a bunch of like palace intrigue. That whole arc, I believe, happens right there. But then the final fight is going to happen with the Tudors because they took over like the border castle of the of Wyndham, which is like built into the mountainside. So it was like
impregnable
until some fuckery happened that they lost it to these guys, and now it is essentially impregnable to allow them to like take back their land, unless Griffith can figure it out. We only have 20,000 men, and they have like 50,000 men in the castle alone, much less another army coming. And then Griffith is like, and my band of the Hawk, it is 10,000 men? And they're like, yeah. I will take the castle. I will do it for you, King, in exchange for us becoming not merely in the army, we're going to be the army now. And the king is like, yeah, sure. If you, with your 10,000 dudes, can take out this castle, which we thought we'd need 100,000 dudes to get, guarded by 50,000 dudes, so another 50,000 dudes on top of that 100,000. Sure, go nuts. So Griffith uses the big brain move of all time. He brings his army outside, and then we have a flashback. A flashback is a very devastating move in any plan, where Griffith, in order to make money for the Band of the Hawk, we get to see a little bit of what went on with that. And Griffith, he did bang this dude just for like...
He sold his pussy.
Yeah, I just need like 30,000 gold so that my bandits don't die before we become like a full army. And that guy fell in love with Griffith. And he
That pussy hit different.
He is pretty.
He is sitting in like a Roman bath with just a bunch of boys. And they say, like, oh, the Wyndham army is here. They're being led by the Band of the Hawk. And he's like, is Griffith there? And they're like, what? Yes, he's the commander. Fetch my armor. I'll be joining as well. All of us will be joining. We need to capture him alive. And they're like, that seems like a really bad way to fight this battle, where we keep him alive. And he's like, I wasn't asking for your opinions. Get me my finest molesting armor and be on your way.
No cod piece.
Exactly. He comes out essentially to he thinks that he's welcoming Griffith, like, you remember, we did have a good night together. I think that you should join us. And Griffith is like, no, we're here to kill you. And he's like, he doesn't mean that. Okay, guys, go kill his guys. I'm going to come down there on my horse, and I'm going to go talk to Griffith myself. And so they send out their knights, and then the Band of the Hawk, they go the other way. They're not running to a fight. And he's like, well, chase them down. There's a river over there. You know, they're not going to get that far. And as they, like, chase them, like, far enough away from the castle, Guts is like, okay, we've gotten them far enough away that, like, I can Dynasty Warriors them now. And then they turn around and they start Dynasty Warriorsing all the other knights that followed them, including one super big knight who's like got main character energy, and he's got like this huge fucking halberd, but Guts' sword breaks in the fucking fight, and Guts is essentially unarmed. And then you see Nosferatu Zod in the background like, this is a good fight. I will throw him my Guts sword. And he throws the Guts sword, and Guts uses his first big sword to decapitate the horse and cut the guy in half. It was great. And then meanwhile, during all of that, Casca and the rest of the army, because it was only half the army that was on horseback, they just walk into the castle now that it's unarmed.
Didn't they take that one guy captive and they used him as a Trojan horse?
I think they used they did. Was that this? Maybe. That might have been it. Point being, they get inside the castle. They fight the comic relief guy of various amount, and then Griffith also just he kills that guy who he banged for money, because he's like, can't have that getting out. That's not good. But they won, and now they're going to be the Royal Army. The war is over. They won. What are we going to do now? We have to fuck it all up. Actually, we have to spend some time now fucking up everything, because while they're celebrating, Griffith is like going to dance with the princess. And Guts is like, I kind of want to talk to my boy about this. We just finished our whole subterfuge where I killed the guy who was trying to kill him. And then he finds out, like, you know, the way that Griffith sees the world is that the person that is his friend is somebody who also has a dream and also is working towards something, not somebody who just works for him. Mm-hmm. So Guts, around this time that the war is over, is like, he's right, I need my own thing, I'm going to quit. I'm going to go do my own thing. So I can be like his true friend, like I thought he wanted.
To be his equal.
Griffith has a complete mental breakdown about this, because Guts was like his emotional support warrior. You need an emotional support fighter, you know? Mm-hmm. That's the guy I send to go do my things. And so, instead of continuing a flawless arc of seducing the princess, he breaks into a room one night and they make sweet tender love. And then he gets out of there just as the king comes to discover like the jizz stains on the mattress, and he's like, "This is Griffith's! I knew it!" So he sends down dudes to chase down Griffith, and Griffith gets captured. And then the next day, like,
they muster the Band of the Hawk.
They muster the... So before all of this, when Guts leaves, Griffith isn't ready to let him go. He's like, no, if you want out, we have to fight about this. And then Griffith is like, I'm ready to kill him. Like, I'm ready to kill Guts over this. And he's like doing the calculations of like, I'll parry this blow, and then if I do this just right, he'll be injured. But if I do it wrong, he'll die. But that's okay, because you don't get to fucking leave me, motherfucker. And then Guts has been in a battlefield the last, 10 years, and Griffith has been mostly doing horseback riding and dancing with princesses and shit. He loses. Guts gets to go. He, like, wins in one blow and is like, I'll be on my way. He's also dressed like a ridiculous Renaissance, like with puffy sleeves and everything.
Good.
Hilarious. Griffith goes to drown his sorrows in princess pussy. Goes badly. Next day, the Band of the Hawk, under the command of Casca, because, Griffith's a busy man, and she's the second in command. They're called to muster for something, and she's like, that's life when you're part of the new army. And the king is like, oh, good, the Band of the Hawk is here. Rain arrows on them. And they're just arrows. They're like, oh no! Oh god! And they run off. They escape. And then we have like a time skip time where Guts is going to do his own solo adventure, where he does things like climb a waterfall so that he could like put a bunch of like logs up there, and then he runs down, and then when the logs come down, he tries to like cut them with his sword. And so he's crushed by logs.
Of course.
And briefly tended to in the mine of like this blacksmith guy, and they bond, and he goes on his own time, but then eventually he comes back.
One of the reasons Guts is getting hit by tree logs is that when he fought Nosferatu Zod, he needs to be able to get hit like that again.
Yeah.
Because when a giant, horrible lion demon tries to punch you, you need to be able to get back up.
The one thing he knows about Zod is that he got out of there. He's around.
He's somewhere.
Yeah, he's somewhere. So we need to prepare for this. And then while he's running around doing things, he's doing things like fighting all... If anybody's like, I'm undefeatable, he shows up out of the darkness to be like, let's see how that is. And then he defeats them. And then one of these things, he beats this guy who's prince of like the not Ottoman Empire, the prince in exile. He's Prince Zuko, essentially. But he has these two ridiculous mutant like karate guard men. He has like 5 of them, actually. They look almost identical. But like Guts beats up the prince, and the prince is like, you're almost as good as the Band of the Hawk. Too bad they're all destroyed. And he's like, the what? Yeah, didn't you hear that they captured the Hawk and they threw him in prison, and then they shot arrows at the rest of them, and he's like, oh fuck, when did that happen? Recently? No, I'd say about... And then like he names essentially the day after that Guts left, and he's like, that was me. Yep. Ooh, that's an oopsie. Ooh. So he runs back and he tries to track down Casca, and he finds her. And they reconnect, and he finds out about all the things that happened, and then she's been leading the Band of the Hawk as like, they're just bandits now. But because Griffith has been like captured, he's been in prison for a year. God knows what they're doing to him in there. But we do know where they are. But Casca's so tired, she's ready to die. She tries to kill herself. Luckily, that doesn't take. Guts saves her, and then they make sweet, tender love.
With a woman?
I know, right?
Boom!
Yeah. It's okay. Guts catches himself before he chokes her to death.
This is what sex is. This is how. When do I choke?
That's once again. This is like I knew you were getting. That's a direct thing that happened. That's a 1-to-1. But now they're together essentially. Guts loves her, and she loves Guts. But the only way to save the Band of the Hawk, they know they have to save Griffith. We can't do a fucking prison break on our own. We need somebody on the inside. And that's when they get a message from the princess's handmaiden, who is sent essentially into the wilderness scared out of her mind because you're the handmaiden of a princess. You're a servant, but you're like a rich person's servant.
An inside.
One of the ones that they take care of, and she's like, I've come to send a message, and they're like, spit it out. And she just essentially
shut the fuck up, pussy.
Yeah, just as she's weeping. So they find out that Griffith is in I think it's I don't remember what the name of the tower is. I'm going to call it the tower.
The Molestation Tower.
He's in Molestation Tower.
It really is.
So Molestation Tower was built on the ruins of the civilization that was here before we built Wyndham. You see, back in like the equivalent of like ancient Roman times, there was a kingdom here. And in that kingdom here, they had their own tower. But all their shit sunk into the muck. There was some horrible fucking disaster that happened like, I don't know, exactly long enough ago for some other time loop thing to take place. Something happened. And the Tower of Punishment. It's a big old tower, it's, standing out of the ground. But the real punishment, the real prison area, is below ground. Because it's built on top of the Tower of Punishment from the ancient guys. Uh-huh. And that goes down like 400 or 500 feet into the earth. Just deep. And Griffith is being held in the basement of that motherfucker. And they're like, okay, well, how do we get in there? And the princess is there. She's like, I've come to save Griffith because I love him. And Guts and Casca essentially look at each other like, and he really cared about you too. He talked about you constantly. So they go to rescue Griffith. They take the princess also because she's like, I'm coming too. And they're like, this is actually a stealth prison break. We brought the best guy for butchering crowds of people with his butchering sword. He kills people in a long sweep, roughly princessed at height. So it's going to be really dangerous. And she's like, well, that's okay. If you guys don't take me, I'll scream and have you all killed. And they're like, okay. So try to crouch a lot. Because he swings that thing really hard.
Okay, well, I'm not going to stop lawn mowing the room, so just don't get mown.
Yeah, don't get lawn mowed. And they break in, and they go down to the very basement of this thing, and you get to see that Griffith has been getting tortured for a year. Essentially, day one, Griffith was, strung up down in the basement of this thing, and the king came down like, did you fuck my daughter? And he's like, you want to fuck your daughter, don't you, King? And he's like, shut up! You don't know what you're talking about! Shut up! He just starts beating the shit out of him with a whip, and Griffith is like, it's because you want to fuck your daughter. It's because you want to fuck her. And the king loses it. He's like, bring me my finest pervert torturer, the most perverted and torturous of the bunch. And they bring out this deformed mutant man who's like, I'm the most perverted torturer of all. And he's like, this guy's yours. He's your gift. Keep him
the guy from the Boondocks.
Yeah. Yes. Worse, even.
He's in this.
He's in this. It's bad. He's the most perverted torture man in the world. And the king is like, you have one rule, which is you're not allowed to kill him. And he's like, well, I wasn't going to kill him. And he's like, good. Do whatever you want for the next year. I'm going to go do king shit. And then the king spent the next year being like, I don't want to fuck my daughter. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I would never.
Fucking jerk.
And then every dream is him wanting to fuck his daughter. Until eventually he finds himself just sort of wandering over to her bed in the night and just sort of taking a peek at her naked body, and she screams and kicks him in the face, and he realizes I do want to bang my daughter. I might be a bad dude. I'm gonna go be so depressed that I die about it, but not for a while. I have to be an insane old depressed king first.
Move my bed out of the molestation tower into the depression tower.
Exactly. And as that is happening, Griffith being tortured down in the basement, we don't get to see much of it until eventually they get down there and they see that Griffith is in there. And he looks like he's wearing his helmet. It's like a hawk-shaped helmet. Mm-hmm. And they bust in there. It's not a helmet. It's a mask that the man would heat up to scalding temperatures and then clamshell over his face.
Oh, no.
And they cut out his tongue and they sliced the tendons in his arms and his legs. And they carved, he pulled out the muscle tissue in his calves and arms. And he is essentially fucked.
Didn't they cut his dick off too?
They cut his dick and balls off.
Yeah, they really fucked him up. Yeah,
and they do sex stuff up there. Also.
Yeah, dude, it's bad.
And Guts is like, Griffith's alive, and the princess is like, let me see.
For a given value of alive.
he's alive, and the princess is like, let me see, and he's like,
Maybe not.
Maybe we wash him first. And then the torture guy closes the door behind him, and he's like, that's right, I'm the torture man, and I tortured him, and this is Griffith's tongue, I wear it around my neck, see how pretty and pink it is? And then he makes that with
tongue.
He makes, it's only like a little piece of it.
Oh, okay.
It's like the main piece of tongue.
When you said that, I imagined like the tongue fully wrapped around his neck like a necklace for some reason.
No, tied like a locket.
Got it.
And
that makes a lot more sense.
And then he makes out with it briefly. And then
he is the rapiest, isn't he?
And so Guts starts lawnmowering. He gets him.
And see, this to me, when I did my first reading of Berserk, this is the point where it's like title card.
Yeah.
Because
Berserk.
Up until this point, Guts doesn't really have any Berserk moments. He doesn't go Berserk. That's not a thing. It's just the name of the manga. This is when Guts goes Berserk. Okay. After they see what they did to Griffith, and after he sees that little pervert man do that, he basically gets the door open, and like 100+ dudes show up to like mercenary knights. Like we're gonna get paid top dollar to kill these people. So some of the cream of the crop show up in like full plate armor, like crazy ass weapons. Like they are ready to go fuck.
They told the king they're doing a Griffith prison break, and the king said, get everyone, I don't care what it costs. And they bring out everyone. Previously, Guts spent like a 24-hour period being hunted by like the enemy army and protecting Casca, because it was like a whole other thing way back.
Right.
And they sent like, in waves really, but 100 guys after him. And Guts killed every single one of those guys.
Uh-huh.
And so he got the title of like the 100-Man Slayer. So everyone's like ready to get, like, I'm going to get that title of killing the 100-Man Slayer. Surely he can't.
So this time we brought 101
We brought 101 guys. And turns out Guts has gotten a lot more stamina over the time that he's been doing solo adventures and getting crushed by
walls. So he activates his Musou and kills them all in one swing.
Yeah, basically.
Essentially without any danger. Yeah. No one is in any danger. They're all just like standing in the back like, my God!
Look at him go.
But he accidentally kills the princess.
No. The princess is still alive right now in the manga.
Oh.
The princess is essentially hanging back with Griffith. Griffith is like doing his best to mouth words like...
just like wiggling on the wall.
They're carrying him at this point. He's very emaciated. He's very light. He's like 35 pounds soaking wet. He doesn't even have all of his parts anymore.
Not gonna lie to you, man. This is the least hot you've ever looked.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not great.
While escaping, the king sends he has his own like Ottoman ninja guards.
Of course.
Like there's one guy who's like a weird like fucking he's like a pygmy that shoots poison darts.
Awesome.
And like there's one big long guy whose specialty is like crawling around tunnels by like he puts his arms on either side of the walls. Like a tunnel that you walk down, he's skittering along the ceiling.
He's the coolest. That's my favorite guy already.
And
I just heard about him.
Essentially, the king is ready to get these guys to kill everybody until they report back like, oh, the princess is in there. And the king is like, okay, how do we get her back? What do they want? They want you to let them out of the tunnel, the Tower of Punishment, or at least the sewers. And he's like, okay, I have another plan. Let them out. After they hand off the princess, everyone pull out and let them go. And they hand off the princess and the handmaiden, and the princess is like, no, I don't want to leave. Griffith, we're finally reconnected. And Griffith is like, he's not saying shit. He doesn't have a tongue in his mouth.
It is annoying.
She's like, oh no, Griffith, I love you. And and the king then says, bring out the Black Dog Knights. To which everyone is like, that seems like a bad idea. And he's like, I don't give a fuck what you people think anymore. Who are the Black Dog Knights?
I'm the king. He just points at his own crown. Like.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you mean that's a bad idea? Kill him!
No, a bad idea was letting them actually go get Griffith. Now we're doing a good idea. So the Black Dog Knights are, they have a prison colony thing that they do, but the Black Dog Knights are led by the most evil prisoner. And so the king is like, we're deciding...
Good day, mate. I'm here to fight him.
We're here to just rough him up, get back Griffith for you.
That's their prime minister.
So that's going to be what I do for his voice now, so that'll be fun. The Black Dog Knights, the king comes and is like, who's the worst among you? And then one super ripped dude is like, I'm the worst among them. And then one dude who's got like a weird, ugly monkey face, and like he moves like an ape. He's essentially a caveman.
He's the coolest.
He's the worst man in the world. And he is like, he's got like full stocks on his wrist. Like, they want this motherfucker locked up. And he's like, no, mate. You're not evil enough. You don't got no charisma for evil. You're just regular. And
that's why we locked him up.
I should be in charge. I've got the charisma of evil. And to prove it, why don't you all fellas take a look up at that spire up there, up at the top of the castle, the big spike sticking up. And everybody, like the king and everybody, like looks, and there's like a thing up there. And they look back down, and then the other guy who was like in the running for being in charge of these guys is just gone. And they like bring out like binoculars, and they see that guy's body has been impaled on the thing, and they're like,
"How'd you do that?"
Well, how did you do that? And he's like, I'm fucked up like that, dog. Like, it's what I do.
Anyway, that's how they got their new leader, Baza.
And they're like, well, you have carte blanche. You can do whatever you want. Just go and kill Griffith. And he's like, righto, mate. Nothing doing. And they unleash him.
Your accent's
and
pretty good.
He gets on what I can only describe as like an evil horse. And then...
Yeah? Is it like made of skeletal bones? Like, is it like black with red eyes?
It's black with red eyes and it bites people.
Awesome.
And he gets all of his Black Dog Knights who are in like black fur with their armor, and then they rape and pillage exactly the path of like Guts and everybody, because they're like, oh my goodness, we need to fix our wagon. This nice group of people over there is like, we were saved by the Band of the Hawk back in the day. Of course we're willing to help the great Hawk Commander. And they're like, thank you, innocent bystanders. We won't forget this. We'll be back to save you guys after, and we'll save all of Wyndham. And they're like, good luck to you now. And then the next page is, good day, mate. And then the next page is that guy carrying the torso with no limbs impaled on a stick of the daughter of that family, while the heads of the rest of the family are like on pikes with his other dudes, and he's just like waving around the torso like, yay!
I imagine like putting like the pikes and like on the heads in the ground, like workman-like.
Yeah.
Like, someone's got to do it.
That's how you do it. Exactly right. And
Fucking accent.
Well, they're from like a prison colony, and the strongest prisoner is leader. Australia. Got it.
yeah,
Oh,
they
man.
chase down Griffith and everybody, and they get to the point where Guts has to fight this guy. And this guy doesn't appear to have any weapons. He's mostly been riding his horse, just like... He also rides like a chimp. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing. Like, you could have used Planet of the Apes and, like, stereoscoped over, like, to draw this guy. He doesn't have a weapon in his hand, so Guts is like, this will be easy. So the guy reaches over and just pulls a branch out of a tree, I'd say about the thickness of a human leg. Mm-hmm. And he's just clubbing people, and it works really well. And Guts has to fight his hardest, and Casca comes too, and they fight, and it's bad. And then the guy's like, well, alright, well, I guess it's time to do the other thing that I do. I know you guys are probably pretty thinking that you're getting away with this. Now I'm going to turn into a 40-foot tall monkey man. And he turns into like a King Kong. But instead of a head, he's got like a like his upper torso sticking out of the neck area.
Awesome.
And he's like, and the monkey body, it's also got like a big tentacle mouth in it, which is it's good for violating your female characters. And I'm gonna kill all of you. And then they fight him, and then Guts gets on the monkey man and he stabs him through his little tiny dude neck and he's like, "Oh no, that's not me monkey pants! Oh no!" And then the monkey goes down, and Guts is like, "We've done it. We've defeated him." And then they're like, "Griffith, we can finally rest for a moment." And Griffith is been dressed up in like his armor because Guts is also all hurt from the fight, so it's like we're both recovering, just like in the old days. Remember when we fought Zod? That guy was a monster man like Zod. It was crazy. And Griffith is attempting to communicate a concept to Guts that Guts is wildly misinterpreting. Every time that Guts is like, "We're going to get you better, Griffith," Griffith is mouthing the words, "I'm going to kill you." Like, "I'm going to kill you, Guts. This is all your fault. I hate you so damn bad. You're such a piece of shit. This is all your fault." And Guts is like, "If only we could speak and share words." Griffith is fucked, and then Guts steps outside, and Casca's like, "You have to go, Guts." And he's like, "What? Why?" Because the Band of the Hawk is no longer like a mercenary group or like a bandit group. We're a nursing home for our favorite guy now. We're going to be taking care of Griffith for the rest of our lives, is what we're going to be, or at least the rest of his, is what we're going to be doing. And you are a main character. You have to go do things. And Guts is like, "Nah, I want to stay with you, babe. We're in love now." And she's like, "That's why I didn't want to bang you at the waterfall. This exact situation. I said this would happen." And then Guts is like, "No, it'll be fine. Griffith is going to get better." And then Monkey Man wakes up. He's like, "I'm not quite dead yet. Oh, big old monkey hand. Oh, ee." And he like crawls over and he grabs Griffith out of the cart and he like rips off his armor with his giant monkey hands. And he's like, "Now look at your hero, all you pricks. He's just a broken toy now. He'll never recover. This is the best he'll ever be. This is the best all of you will ever be. What's that you got on your neck there? Oh my god." And he's like inspecting the evil orb necklace, like, "Why you can't have that. Oh, if you have this, I'm really not allowed to kill you. I'd better kill you fast before anyone stops me from killing you for having this magical necklace." And then as he's ready to kill him, Nosferatu Zod shows up as a giant lion Satan. And he rips Monkey Man in half and is like, "Now go, you have a destiny to fulfill." And Griffith is just like, he falls limp on the fucking wagon, just Family Guy style, just dropped. And Guts like comes to the conclusion, like, "I have to stay here." And Casca's like, "You can't stay here. We have to take care of Griffith." And Griffith overhears all of this, that he's not going to get better, definitely. And he's like, "I have to kill myself. I'm not going to do this forever. That's ridiculous." And so he just sort of ragdolls what's left of him up to the front of the cart and like, "Yeah!" the horse, like with his arm, I guess, because it's a loose, like a horse whip. He gets the horses running because, I'm going. I'm just going. I don't know where I'm going. And they're like, "Oh no! The horses went wild and they're taking Griffith with them. We have to save him." And Guts gets on his horse and everybody's chasing after. And then the horses keep running, and then the wagon crashes, and Griffith spills out, and he falls Family Guy style into this big lake, and then he lifts himself up, and his arm is just broken. Like, he's so fragile. He's just shattered, and he's in like 4 inches of water, and that might as well be fatal to him. But there's like a big sharp piece of stick sticking out of the fucking water from the crash. And he's like, "Oh, I just have to fall on this, and finally I can just turn it all off. We can start over fresh from when we're trying to save Squashy." And, and as he's trying to do this, he sees that there are dudes just in the water. And this is like the coast. There's just dudes coming from the sea like they're Godzilla. And he's like, "It's pretty weird." And then he sees in his broken arm, hanging from it, is the necklace, the evil orb. And his blood hits it, and it's got like facial features all over the evil little egg orb, and it like starts forming into a face. And then as the rest of the Band of the Hawk arrive, they see a solar eclipse is happening.
Uh-oh.
And then Griffith sees them, and the thing screams. And then everyone's teleported to hell. They're all teleported to hell. The God Hand come out. They are elder gods, essentially, picked from humanity for their unique brands of misery to sort of rule over all the most fucked up dudes. You see, if you have one of these evil necklaces and you reach a point where you're willing to trade your humanity for something, doesn't need to be anything in particular. Mainly they want you to be wanting to kill someone. But if you want something bad enough you're willing to stop being human over it, then it will let you do that. But you have to give something. You have to sacrifice something. And then, once every 800 blah 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 years, there's a solar eclipse. And when that eclipse comes, not only is that person becoming a demon, they're becoming a new member of the God Hand. He's now one of the 5 creatures that rule over causality.
6 now, or did he replace
5 now.
Okay.
There were 4,
okay.
and now there's 5.
Got it.
And then, as all of that is happening, Guts is like, I gotta save Griffith from hell! And he's running around with, like, a knife, like, just stabbing demons and shit. The Band of the Hawk has arrived as well, and they're trapped in hell. And they're just getting eaten alive. It's horrible.
I bet.
The Eclipse
Nightmarish.
is the thing where, like, if you... There are a bunch of these videos.
You go to extra hell.
Yeah. Your soul is now part of, like, the being that ate you. It's bad. And the Eclipse, whenever you see, like, a thing where it's, like, a person, reading it for the first time, or, like, there's one thing that I really liked of a guy whose dad got really into Berserk and started reading it, and, like, every volume he'd be like, this is what Dad thinks of this volume, and then he gets to the Eclipse and he's like, I hate Griffith. He's the worst in the world.
I remember seeing it's like a black family, and it's like this guy got his mamas to watch Berserk, and like the videos just are being, man, fuck Griffith,
fuck Griffith,
fuck Griffith, and he's like, yeah, fuck Griffith, fuck Griffith.
Because while Guts and everybody are like running around trying to live, Griffith has been raised up into the sky and enclosed in like a giant fist made out of human meat, and he's been getting changed into his new form. And while everyone else is getting eaten, essentially it comes down to Guts and Casca being left. Everyone else dies. The first thing that happens when you get sent to hell also is the guy who's in charge of this, I guess, Void. He's got like a big brain. He looks like a more exaggerated anime version of the Cenobites from Hellraiser. And he like is like, and now the brand of sacrifice, and it sends out a brand that hits everybody who this guy is sacrificing. Mm-hmm. And while they're transforming him, you get to see like a flashback of Griffith while he was in his little pickpocket crew, and then him coming to terms with the idea of like, well, the more you want to higher you want to get on this path, you have to build that with bodies. Are you willing to trade all of your friends for your wish? And he comes to the conclusion like, yeah, I guess I must be. That was what I was doing before as a mercenary. Yes, that's who I am, that's what I'm about. And they're like, then what is your wish? And he says, I want to fly. And then a BDSM-style Batman emerges from an egg. Guts and Casca have been captured. They're the only ones alive. And then he comes down, and Guts is like, oh, thank God, Griffith is here! And he's like, Because Griffith then is like, and now he like puts one arm out, and then Casca is lowered by tentacles, and he's like, Guts, I heard you had sex with my bottomless bitch. And Guts is like, we're in love, and he's like, no! And then he has sex with Casca.
and makes Guts watch.
Oh yeah.
And Guts is like he's being restrained by demons.
Yeah, he has his demon boys hold him down, and then Guts has like he's being held back by his arm because it was bitten down on by one of the fucking demons, and so he takes his broken fucking sword and just chisels the limb off.
He just hacks his own arm off, yeah.
And then like he's like, I'm gonna he's just ready to kill him, and then he's like, additional boys, hold him down and make him watch. And they hold him down and they make him watch. And then a skeleton man on a skeleton horse enters and is like, hello, I'm also part of this, and I'm a good guy, and I've come to save you. And he picks up Guts and Casca, and they fuck off.
One of my favorite parts of that scene is he goes straight for Void, which kind of like cements that they have a past together.
The Cenobite dude and Skull Knight have some beef from the past.
And he tries to stab him with his Skull Knight sword, and then Void basically like makes like a gotcha, like, and
he portals him,
he portals his sword to try to stab him in his own back, but he knows he's up to some tricky shit, so he puts his shield up and blocks the back of his head as if he knew that was going to happen. It was so sick.
It was so sick. And then as they bust out, they find out also that the reason that everyone else died and only Guts and Casca made it is because when Skull Knight first showed up, he was like, it's been 800 years. It's time for the Eclipse again. It's my only chance to kill Void. And then outside, Nosferatu Zod is like, well, Skull Knight. We've known each other as well for 800 some odd years. And Skull Knight's like, don't talk about that yet. We're not going to expand on any of this lore until well after the author is dead. And then they fight for a while, and that's why it took them so long to get in there.
Oh my god, this fucking guy! Go away!
I know. And then once Guts and Casca are rescued, they essentially get brought to the blacksmith guy that he made friends with, and they're brought into like this mine that's protected by spirits and stuff. And Guts has the brand on like the back of his neck, and Casca has it like right on her breast. And then if there are evil ghosts around, it bleeds, and then the ghosts want to eat you or take over your body. And they come out every night. To which Guts is like, that doesn't sound like a thing that people can defend against. And he's like, it's not. You're fucked. But if you can struggle hard enough, you could reach Super Saiyan and kill Griffith. To which Guts is like, I thought you never asked. And he gets his fucking blacksmith guy, and like one of the like young guys from the army also survived. He didn't make it to the rescue team, and he's been staying with the blacksmith. And he made like the artificial arm that Guts uses. He made like the repeater crossbow that like slots onto it and everything. And they're like, well, Guts, if you're going to go out there into the world fighting monsters, you're going to need something good for fighting monsters. This is the greatest sword I ever made. And it's like a really fancy two-handed sword. And the blacksmith is like, I'm trusting you with it, Guts. And Guts is like, I only have the one arm. I'll have to be smart about this. And then as like they're getting out and like Casca's going to stay, she has lost her mind. Turns out that kind of assault by demons in hell, not good for you. Guts steps outside and is like, now I will always be on the aggro radar. There's also a 9-foot-tall, 1,000-pound obese man standing outside who turns into a giant pig demon. And Guts is like, I have just the sword for this! And he slashes him, and the sword breaks immediately. Ha! And Pig Demon kicks him into a building, and then he comes out. Oh ho ho ho! You shouldn't have kicked me into this one! Because he's got the big sword now! The one from the first 2 chapters. The Dragon Slayer.
Because, yeah, the blacksmith made that as like basically as a joke. He's like, yeah, I just wanted to see how big of a sword I can make. It's not for practical use, obviously. It's just a showpiece. And then Guts starts using it.
In the interim of the king going mad, he demanded that everybody make swords that can kill dragons. And everyone made, like, really fancy swords, except him. He's like, it needs to be dragon-sized. And then when he brought it, they were like, this blacksmith has gone mad. Put him to death! And he's like, so I ran away, and now I live here in the mountains, on this blessed mine. And Guts takes this sword and his cannon arm, and he's like, now I have to go be in the first 2 chapters. I'm off! And that is the only part of Berserk that ever gets remade, even on this podcast. Because this is where I'm going to stop talking about Berserk. I really like Berserk. A while after this, they get on a boat trying to get to a whole other fucking thing and trying to fix Casca. The mangaka died a little while ago, and fortunately, he's left enough materials that his assistants and everything are putting out more chapters. They think they can do the rest of Berserk. it's not as pretty.
Yeah.
It's just not as pretty. I trust them, though, and it's been pretty good. But you'll have to read it for yourself, because you'll certainly never see it animated in anything besides a pre-Toy Story 1 style of animation.
And with that, we're going to end tonight's episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the nature of this content, go and give us a like and subscribe on YouTube, and go and give me a follow on Blue Sky. And you can support us on our Patreon. And I'd like to give a special thanks to our Patreon subscribers, our fellow Scryers, Maticate, GaryGoblino, MidniteGrimoire, The Greater Good Boy, Kinomajaro, Grimtones, Wanrical, Barcis, Janklord Emperor, Grimothy, Bread the Gnarbarian, Cheffireman, and, of course, my mom.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.